Welcome back here to. Welcome back here to. Yeah, you guys are all good. It's just the broadcaster that doesn't know what he's doing. So welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on wakeupcalldt.com, your one-stop sports shop, on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt, and on Facebook Live, facebook.com/livenowdt. We're here with Enrico Mastroianni, the men's basketball head coach at Marywood University, that is getting set to play their Thursday home playoff game. We just found out it is Thursday at 7 p.m., not on Wednesday. So the second round automatic advance to the Final Four, the semis of the Atlantic East, because of their tremendous play in the regular season and in the conference, of course, of the Atlantic East. They are moving on as that number 2 seed and will play on Thursday at home at 7 o'clock. Gabby Holko, she did this little thing called win. And when the team won, the Marywood Pacers women's basketball team, moving forward in tremendous fashion, up by as many as 24. Then it went down to 7, and then they blew it back up and were able to celebrate in what I can call one of my favorite moments of the last 16 years, the celebratory moment, and being able to put hands in after that. So that was awesome. So Gabby Holko, Marywood women's basketball, moving on the number 3 seed, and they have another game and more life here in the Atlantic East as well. And, of course, I'm Dan Tortora. So this is the part of the show called Rapid Fire. I've had it for years. It is a hot seat part where we can ask each other anything about anything. And because we're on live video and radio, we have to answer it or you look bad. And because we're on live video, when you don't answer it or you answer it strangely, people are watching your facial expressions. So we have what Gabby called the Gabby sandwich right now. And because you're sitting back, you look so tiny. Yeah. We should have you sit closer.
Sit back too, actually,
Gabby's, you
I didn't realize my head is taking up the whole screen.
It's all good. It's all good. Doing your thing. And you realize we're all, obviously in prime fashion, but we all have the pacer in the center of the chest. So we have the 3 pacers in a row, which is good stuff.
Yeah.
So who's going to start this thing, Gabby?
I'll start.
Yeah, Go ahead.
For both of you.
Okay.
Favorite type of cereal and why?
Oh, so easy for me.
Hard for me.
How?
Because I have so many favorite cereals.
I know. Well, I think I have I have a 2-way tie.
Go first.
You want me to go?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, definitely Cinnamon Toast Crunch. And Robin Williams said, if you eat this cereal, which I do, if you eat this cereal past 4 p.m., you do drugs. That's what he said. He was like, you obviously are like a drug addict. And I've never done drugs before in my life, but Lucky Charms all day, every day. And if you look at the ingredients and you look at the calories and everything, Lucky Charms are healthier than Honey Nut Cheerios. And marshmallows have nothing in them. So Lucky Charms are not as bad for you as you think they are, and I eat them all the time.
So as a child, it went back and forth for me all the way through adult years, and it was either Golden Grahams or Apple Jacks. Two very, very differing styles, right? Apple Jack. Oh yeah, Apple Jacks are.
Did you ever hear
Apple
the rumor?
Jacks specifically for the milk afterwards?
Oh yeah,
it's just so.
Did
awesome.
You hear the rumor that years ago somebody told me that Apple Jacks was getting discontinued?
No.
And I was freaking out.
Oh no.
They're like, who would do that? And I was like, obviously a serial killer or a horrible person, like a literal serial killer. But I was pissed. I'm buying them up. Yeah. I think somebody was just trying to make sure that we got some sales. Yeah.
So I'm going to give the nod to Golden Grahams.
Okay.
And specifically right now because that's my son's favorite cereal right now. So I think the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. So
there you go.
If his instinct is to go with that was probably my favorite all along.
He's a smart kid.
That's right.
All right. Yeah. All right, Enrico, go ahead.
All right. This is just for Dan. This question. Top 3 Marywood men's basketball players of all time that you have watched play.
Wow, that's a good one.
I thought long and hard about that. Thanks for giving me some time.
It's so tough for me. Oh boy. See, I have to think about my years, and then I have to think about right now. I feel like the here and now that's what's fresh in my brain. Because, they had some trees. They had some trees back then, like Joe Butchko and whatnot. Yeah. So, that's tough. See, the thing is, it would be even harder if you asked me women's, because I built a lot of, I built relationships with the men's team, but the women's,
So this should be easy to answer then.
I know.
I didn't ask you about the women.
Like the women, I think the women though, it would like it would be
stump Dan Tortora.
No, but it would be
if
it was the women, it would be personal because like I got messages.
Three men.
You're stalling.
I know. It's so
You know that
tough.
thing you talked about where you don't answer a question?
Yeah. Or if I'm Coach K, I ask you to repeat the question to give me time to answer the question. So I love Duran. I love Duran Dickerson. So I want to put Duran in there. I want to put TIP in there. I want to put Tip in there.
Duran was here for our alumni game, by the way.
Yeah, I want to put Duran there. I want to put Tip there. I want to put Lawrence Tompkins in there, but I also want to put Jeremy Ringland. So can I have 4? 2 and 2?
I'll give you 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to do that. 2 now.
Shout
two
out
now,
to Lawrence because he's my guy.
Well, Lawrence, here's the thing. Lawrence puts up on Instagram positive reinforcement quotes.
No doubt.
And LT has gotten me through some really, really, really difficult times mentally, spiritually, everything. And so he's been a guide for me when he doesn't know he has. So I have to put him in there because obviously basketball, but more so because he's done more for me than he knows.
Yeah. And I mean, I could ask the question, is your 3 favorite too? I guess that's probably along the same lines.
No, I think LT's top. Then.
Yeah.
But Duran, I mean, Duran's so close.
Yeah.
Because after the game, see, I didn't know Duran like knew me because you do the games, but you don't know like how well they know you. And like before a game, he would just come up to the table. He'd be like, "My man Dan." He'd just shake my hand. But his energy, like every time I saw him out there, because he would smile all the time, he always made it fun.
Both of those guys have been huge supporters of us for this, what we've been doing.
Don't ask me women's because I'd have like 17.
Okay.
I'd have too many. Like Katie Hajmahala sent me a message last. I mean, there's I can't. It's so difficult. Okay, my question is for Gabby.
All right.
So we went out after the game.
Yep.
And I told you that I don't drink that much and I've never been drunk.
Yep.
So, and that's a true statement. But I like what I call the angry elf. And that's because
never heard of it before.
That's what Disney calls it. So and I got it down in Disney. So I like when alcoholic drinks don't taste like alcohol. They taste like juice. And so, because I have a sweet tooth. So I get the Angry Orchard because they seem to do it the best. Shout out to them. So Angry Orchard hard cider with like Jack Daniel's Fire or a Fireball, and you put it in there, you put the shot in there, and it makes it a cinnamon apple. No? You don't like
where's this going?
Where's
What's
the question?
So where the question's going is, what is your drink of choice?
My drink of choice, I'm going to sound pretty lame when I say this, but a glass of Merlot.
Red wine?
Red wine.
Do you have a favorite company?
I actually don't. I don't
It looks like we're
discriminate.
ganging up on you. Can you please move a little bit forward? It literally looks like we're in the Sandlot, like girls can't play here. Like
I don't discriminate. I like a glass of red wine, but I also I would say I'm an IPA, like craft beer drinker. So like I like to try different beers from different places.
Well, that's the thing. I told you yesterday I don't like beer, and you're like, oh, I'm good with it. Like I do. I like, and see a lot of people that don't like beers will never like craft beers because they're very hoppy, they're very beery. Can you tell me? I know nothing. What does hoppy mean? So it's the hops that it's the hops. When you tell me hoppy,
I'm talking about buddies now.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like when you say, like, I think of an Easter bunny going, I'm very happy today. Like that's what I have no idea what it means. So they brew beers and hops. Every beer has hops, and that's why a lot of people that are allergic to beer, they're allergic to the hops because it's a type of
the grain. Right?
Grain, yes. So IPAs
makes the taste the way it does.
So IPAs, if you taste an IPA, and there's a ton of them, there's double IPAs, they're very bitter, I guess I would say. And IPA stands for? It's an Imperial Pale Ale. Okay. And I know nothing. There's other things like sours.
I'm not in this knowledge at all.
Like beer either.
No.
Yeah.
But IPAs, I would say, like we like to go to different breweries and just try different ones, and IPAs are a good thing too. But I love red wine. Okay, it's a good wine down. It's back to your question, Gabby. Oh, it's mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. If you could be, Dan, this is for you.
Okay.
If you could be a cartoon character, who would you be and why?
A good question.
Darkwing Duck.
Oh my gosh, I could so
Who?
see that. That's so
Darkwing Duck.
Darkwing Duck. You don't know
Yeah.
Darkwing Duck?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wait, I got to do the eyebrow.
I could so see that.
Let's get dangerous. I would be Darkwing Duck in a heartbeat. He's a bastard child of Disney. Like Disney has disowned him. Him and Bonkers. They just pretend like they don't
He's
exist.
like the outcast. Yeah.
It used to be Disney. Okay, picture Donald Duck if Donald Duck was just like a badass.
Oh, I think I know who that is now.
And he's got the hat. He's got okay. So here's the thing. So I asked. Now this I told you with over 1,000 sports figures being on the show, I don't get starstruck. Only with Gabby. But I don't get starstruck. Like I don't. Doug Flutie got me a little because he was like like
He's
the everyday
Doug Flutie.
guy
Yeah.
that made it. And I think Kurt Warner would too if I spoke with him. But speak to Super Bowl champions, NCAA, none of it. Tad Stones was on my Superpowered Pop show, the creator of Darkwing Duck. And I'm in my old studio, and I'm sitting there. It was at night, and I'm jittery. And I'm talking to him, and in my head, I'm like, I'm talking to Tad Stones right now. I'm talking to Tad. It ended, and I was like on the verge of crying, and I was like, I just interviewed Tad Stones, the creator of Darkwing Duck. And I asked him, and this was like the best quote ever. I said, what was your inspiration for Darkwing Duck? How did you make the character? He said, I pictured Batman if Batman had a daughter and he stuck around to be the father.
Wow.
And I was like, it's like the most badass thing you could say about that. So now every once in a while, Disney will come out with a T-shirt and my favorite watch, and I still can't find it. I hope my mom does. But I have I had a watch, purple watch at Darkwing Duck and he had the cape like this. And when you wanted to see the time, you had to open the cape. It was my favorite watch. In third grade, I took a picture like this, and I had my watch on. And my grandmother put it in the kitchen, and I have it now. And it was my favorite picture. So I need to find my Darkwing Duck. But anything Darkwing Duck, because you never see it anywhere. So now, why did you say that you could see it? I'm honored.
I just think you have, that look, that style about you. It's
the Darkwing Duck.
Darkwing Duckish, yeah.
Yeah. I hope that's
definitely.
a compliment.
It is. No, it definitely is. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
You don't even know who Darkwing Duck is.
Yeah, she'll have to do some research.
I will be.
Yeah. We'll educate you after the show. You'll get to see it. It's good stuff.
My question?
It's your question.
All right. For both of you, if there was a movie about your life, who would play you? What actor or actress would play you?
You asked me a similar question to this.
Oh, yeah? Sorry. Did I repeat it?
No.
I wasn't on the show last
You weren't on the show.
All right.
I would definitely be played by Oprah. No, I'm kidding. We look too similar. It would be weird. So, Gabby, you go, and then I'll go.
Sandra Bullock.
Oh, nice.
I just love her.
Okay.
I think she's a fantastic actress. I think she's hilarious. Like in The Proposal. Oh, my goodness.
That's a great movie.
But she
a
can
really
also
good
be
movie.
serious, like in The Blind Side.
Yeah.
I think she's just a fantastic person. So that's who I would choose.
Okay.
I've channeled my inner Deadpool. So, Ryan Reynolds, because I think our comedic timing is there.
Sarcastic and funny and
Yeah.
timely. Yeah.
I think it's definitely, yeah, there's his relationship. I remember watching the second movie and his relationship with his love interest in there. I was like, that's what I want.
Nice.
Like their timing back and forth with each other.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's a rated R movie. So I can't his comedy in that movie, you can't really say too much on a family show.
Right.
But it's things that would come out of my mouth.
Okay.
So I would say Ryan Reynolds.
Cool.
All right. My question for Enrico.
Mm-mm.
If you were the Cleveland Browns head coach and you could get any 3 players not on the Browns right now, who would you go out and get? Currently playing in the NFL.
No regard for free agency.
No regard for free agency.
Contracts.
Money is not an option. You are the
Just
Yankees.
The 3 best players that I would want to have.
Whoever you want. Yeah.
Okay.
You say Tom Brady, you can walk outside. And I really hope that when you show love to your son, it's not like Tom Brady's love to his son.
I'm going to start with Khalil Mack.
Okay.
I think they may have had an opportunity to get him this year and didn't.
Yeah.
But they didn't want to give away the farm, so that would be.
Played at Buffalo.
Yeah, great
Awesome
linebacker. Khalil Mack, number one. I hate to say this as a Browns fan, but I would go with Juju Smith-Schuster.
You got to get Juju.
Yeah.
He's a beast.
Yeah, I just think we need that. Like I said, that deep threat wide receiver.
He's
that
good.
Big play guy.
He's young, so he doesn't have much drama.
Yeah.
And he doesn't film the locker room when coach is speaking.
And this is hard. J.J. Watt. J.J. Watt. I think not just for his ability, but his character. I think put a guy like that in the locker room, it makes a big difference among some younger players, which Browns have a lot of younger players right now.
Yeah, J.J. would be a nice addition for you.
Yeah.
I like that. All right, Gabby.
I should be thinking about this, shouldn't I? This is for Enrico. Dream
Please
vacation.
put me on the hot seat.
Dream vacation. Where and why?
Why is easy because I haven't been there yet. Where is Greece?
Greece.
Yeah, I wanted to go for our honeymoon. We talked about going to Greece. Decided to go to Italy instead just to see the roots.
You poor thing.
Yeah, no, I know. But Greece is a place that it's on my bucket list for sure. I'm a big mythology guy, and I taught when I was in Dania Beach, Florida. I taught 6th grade world history at Olson Middle School in Florida, and Greek mythology, ancient Greece, that was all part of our curriculum. The Olympics, I did a whole big program on the Olympic Games and had a field trip or a field day where the kids went out and did an actual Olympic events and stuff.
Oh.
It was really cool. So I'd love to go back and see all that stuff.
That's neat.
Yeah.
All right, Enrico.
Oh, wait, is it my turn?
It's your turn now.
Oh, wow. All right.
I like that the hot seat is it's harder
It's
for
so
the questions.
hard. Yeah, the questions. All right. This message, I keep going this message. This question is for you, Gab.
All right. I'm ready.
So, you've only been here a year.
Yep.
Don't know a whole lot of the history. I mean, at least other than what you could read.
Nope.
Where do you think Natasha Hessling ranks among the best players at Marywood women's basketball?
Honestly, the top.
Number one?
Yep. I know, like I said, I haven't been here long. But especially this season, I mean, I'm just thinking in my head, and just because of all conference nominations and the voting and everything that we just had to do as the head coach, and looking at her statistics, I mean, 17 double-doubles in a season.
It's amazing.
Having 2 double-doubles with 20 and 20.
There was a nice story written in the Scranton Times about her. I got a chance to read that. Scott Walsh, great article. And, it's just amazing that pretty much all she's accomplished has been in one season.
One season.
I mean, she's been a good player all around for her whole career, but what she did in this year alone has been amazing.
Yes, it is.
So
I think that's the biggest thing is, like I said to Dan in my segment earlier, is she surpassed 500 rebounds in 3 years, and now she's sitting at 368 and 1.
Right.
I mean, she could have definitely, I hope and I know that we are, and I hope we can play the way that we played, and we can just keep going, and she can just keep getting those stats up. Yeah. I'm so proud of that kid. She is just, and I can't say it enough, she's just a good human.
Yeah. Great
you
girl.
feed off of her. You feed off of her happiness. I'll come into the gym and she says, "Hey, coach," and she giggles. Yeah. I don't even know what she's giggling at, but you feed off of that.
She was here in the summer. We were running camps and stuff, and we had a few girls that came to the camps. This is before you were hired or had just started, and we didn't have any women's program camps in place, and so some of the girls, including my daughters, wanted to come to the camp. And so I couldn't let them go into a locker room by themselves, to go change and get in the pool and all that. So Natasha was great. She was here on campus. And even if she wasn't, she made it a point to come to campus just for that time frame of the day to help me out.
That's awesome.
And volunteer. I mean, she's just a really sweet girl.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. She's a great kid. But I think she's in the top, like the top. So
great.
Hey, Atlantic East, if you're listening.
My question to the both of you is hindsight's 2020. Why did you come to Marywood?
You want to go first? Ladies first?
I'll take that.
Go ahead.
So I always knew that this is what I wanted to do with coaching. My degree is in history. I was a secondary ed minor. All I had to do to graduate with my secondary ed minor was to student teach. Second semester, senior year, I went home for the week that we got during Christmas break, and I told my mom I'm dropping my secondary ed minor. The look she gave me was, what are you talking about? What are you going to do with a history degree? All you have to do is student teach. I said, I just don't want to be a teacher. And everyone always is like, well, you're teaching with coaching. And I said, it's very, very different. So I worked for my coaches at Westminster, and I really got to see the ins and the outs of front rush and film breakdown. And I was a point guard. So working with my coaches actually made me a better player because I saw the ins and the outs of it. Yeah. Then I decided, you know what, let me apply to every GA possible. And I think I applied to 150 all over the United States, South Dakota, Florida, California, and Misericordia right down the road. Dave Martin, Allison Kern, Chuck Edkins, they were the ones that gave me my shot. And I was there for 2 years. I got my master's, and I coached for 2 years, and we had a rough 2 years. I mean, the seniors that are graduating this year were my last class at Misericordia, and they're competing for a championship now, which is awesome to see. So I was at Ms. I left and I went to Allegheny College, and I was working with Kate Costanzo, who is a fantastic human being. I actually was just talking to her last night. She's a very positive person, like never gets negative. And I said last night when I was being really negative with the referees, when I heard wanted me to look at you, and I was not looking at anybody.
I told her about that.
Oh, I didn't know if you heard me. I'm sorry.
No, I didn't hear anybody. But
no, he's like, Dan, look at Gabby. I want her to look at me. She won't even look at me.
I won't look at anybody. I was so angry.
I was just going to give you the pump the brakes symbol. But,
yeah.
So when I was getting like that, I thought in my head, what would Kate Costanzo do? Yeah. And it's just swing it around and be positive, because your players feed off of that. Right. And that's what I did. But I worked at Allegheny College, which is in Meadville, Pennsylvania. It is in the snow belt right next to Erie. Yeah. But we wanted to get back in this area. And I have a really good friend who was at the game last night, Joya Whittington, who is the athletic director and women's basketball coach at Lackawanna College. We knew each other we have a lot of close friends, and knew Joya always from like the convention, but we weren't as close, but called me up and was like, Gabby, I have a position for you. I was like, where, why, when? Yeah. And she said, it's in Scranton, Pennsylvania. It's JUCO D2. I went like this a little bit. I never knew if I wanted to go JUCO, but that was probably the best year that I could have done. And I learned so much from Joya. And then this job opened, and that's what I was waiting for. There are so many Division III jobs in this area, and I knew I wanted to be back at Division III. I'm Division III through and through. I never want to go Division I. D2 possibly later in my career, but Division III is where my heart lies. It's because I was a player at Division III. It's where I've coached, and I love the balance between academics and athletics. They're not here solely for athletics. We get them here for athletics, but they have to be able, and I say this in my recruiting all the time, they have to be able to see themselves. If you slip on a banana peel tomorrow and you could never play basketball ever again, can you still go to school here? If that answer is yes, I want you to come here. If that answer is no, I don't want you to come here, because basketball doesn't always work out. I mean, we play only 5 at a time on the court. People get very caught up in that. And Coach talked about that in his segment with you, is it shouldn't matter if you start. It shouldn't matter if you play 40 minutes a game. It should matter about being a part of a team. And I actually just tweeted a quote, and then we do a quote of the day every day. And our quote before our regular season finale and before this one, we used the same one, was you could play the game of your life tomorrow. You're going to forget the points. You're going to forget the plays. You're going to forget the score, but you are never going to forget your teammates. Right. And that is the biggest thing that collegiate athletics gives you, is that sense of a family. But I'm going way off topic. But I came to Marywood because that job opened. And I was a first-time head coach. They had a lot of great people that applied for this position, people that were at higher divisions that have had extensive background, in head coaching experience. And Marywood gave me my chance. And I really believe that. And there was a lot of negativity. I'm not going to lie about it. There was negativity that I don't know if that's the right place for you to go. We want you to be successful. But I can see this place being successful. I see this place as being a diamond in the rough. We have a beautiful campus. We're only 2 hours from Philly, 2 hours from New York City. We are in Scranton.
2 hours from Syracuse.
2 hours from Syracuse. But we are we're in a city feel, but we're in our own little nook in Dunmore. So I honestly see this as being a diamond in the rough, and that's why I decided to take this opportunity and to get my first head coaching experience.
That's awesome. Enrico?
So I think my story you've heard before, but I'll just be brief. Marywood for me is home. I grew up here in Scranton. I went to West Scranton High School. When I started in coaching, similarly to Gabby, I started at Misericordia as an assistant. Left Florida. I was living in Fort Lauderdale area, and
you and I both lived in Florida, and the question was why
did we leave?
Why did you come back? Why?
I left for the opportunity to coach in college and at Misericordia, and got to do that for 4 years. And at the end of that time, was looking for head coaching opportunities. But this was always one that when I was at Misericordia, I always said, if I ever get the opportunity to be here, this is, like Gabby said, a diamond in the rough. This is a place where you can be successful, where you can build a program. We have a great facility. We have a great campus. We're in a great location. It was comfortable to me. It was a hometown that I grew up in, that I knew. And I knew I could get support around it. We would have people that would care about us being successful here. After having some other opportunities in coaching, Centenary College, I mentioned for 4 years. Georgian Court University, I started a Division II men's program. This actually opened after my first year recruiting for Georgian Court. I didn't have a team. We were the first ever in history. And this position had opened, and my wife and I talked about it, and we had just the 2 girls at the time. And I said, Marywood's open. Do we want to go back? Do we want to go back home? And, the response was, how could you? How could you leave right now when you just recruited these guys to come in and start history with you? And it's a special time and opportunity. It would be really hard to tell all of them after a year's worth of recruiting, hey, by the way, I'm not going to coach you. You're coming here, but I'm not coaching you. So we passed. And, the coach that was here before me was only here for 2 years. And it opened again. And at that point, we just, how many times can you tempt fate? If the signs are pointing back to you coming home, you just kind of have to follow them. And so, I went after it pretty hard, and I felt good about it. I knew that there was competition for the job. Quite a bit, but I felt like I had the resume, the credentials, and that component of understanding Northeast PA and Scranton specifically that, really could help me get here. And here we are. So
those are 2 tremendous stories. Amazing.
Yeah.
That was great. I know we joke around about a lot of stuff, but that was very heartfelt, and I appreciate that. We got 2 more apiece in rapid fire. Go ahead, Gabby.
Dan.
Yes. I plead the fifth.
All time.
There's so many amendments in the Constitution. If I can only choose one, I plead the fifth.
I want you to name your all-time favorite Duke men's basketball player.
Oh, that's so harsh.
Why are you so mean?
Oh, it's so harsh.
So heartless. I'm kidding. You're not. We're going to talk about this off the air. We're going to discuss how you need to compose yourself as a Duke fan.
Also, my phone. Where is my phone? I just saw on, and I'll bring it up. It was on ESPN, and
you know,
I'm gonna let her talk while I'm sitting here angry.
Where's that? Where are you? Oh, saved. I got it right here. Okay, everyone watching, you know who this guy is.
Zion
Williamson. Roy Williams on Zion. Name somebody else that has the skill set that he has, because in the college game, I've never seen it. Well, everybody will say, what about LeBron? Listen to what I said. LeBron never played in college. Right. I've never seen anything like it. He's coming to your house on Saturday. So who's the best?
An unwelcome guest at the house of Jim Boeheim. My favorite Duke of all time. Well, you know what? I've gotten to interview a lot of them, and I've gotten to spend time with a lot of them. And I told Syracuse fans that they were going to be pissed off when they hear this, because he was like public enemy number one. And this is not my favorite, but a quick story. Every time I interviewed Grayson Allen, I had a good time. Like, he was just very, respectful kid and whatever. And I mean, he has a lot of involuntary muscle moves on the court that seem to trip people, but he was always good to talk to. And Jason Tatum, I got to spend a lot of time with, and Jason was wonderful to talk with. And I mean, there's so many guys that have come through there that I've had, and I mean, number 2 picks, top, first round picks and whatnot. The last 5-6 years that I've covered the ACC, I've gotten to go to the tournament and go to ACC Media Day, and I've talked to a lot of these guys. So when I see them in the NBA and I see them do what they do at Duke, I can sit there watch television and go, I interview that guy. This is what him and Jason Tatum is one of my favorites of all time. So Jason's going to take a back seat, though, because when you jump from underneath the basket to block a shot at the 3-point line, you're not human. So, and when your parents name you Zion, I mean, you're like biblical. So I'm going to say Zion Williamson, because he is built to be a lineman in football.
Yep.
Yet he's agile. He's very light on his feet. He can move quick. He can hit threes. He can play everywhere. He never looks tired. And I don't think that he's human. I think that if they are making Space Jam 2, he needs to be one of the Monstars.
Well, that's a good point.
So I think Zion Williamson's my favorite, and it's because I separate him from Duke. I'm like, he doesn't play for, in my brain, he doesn't play for Duke. But he's one of those people that whether you like a team or not, he makes you go, like, you could loathe Duke to the ends of the earth, and when you watch Zion Williamson, you can't not watch him play. You can't not, like, when voting comes about and they put that ballot in front of me, I don't have to, I don't care. I mean, I respect the 15 team. It doesn't matter. He's the vote. He's the vote now. He's the vote three months ago. He's the vote. So I got to say it's Zion number, and he wears the number that he wears states who he is. So I mean, I don't think I have to think about that much.
Awesome.
He's a freak of nature. I love it. I wish he would have taken his talents to Marywood, but
that would
be nice.
Yeah, but he is. I look forward to the hopeful, and I know God is great in my life. I look forward to the opportunity of sitting in the locker room with him, hopefully, coming up.
Awesome.
Yeah, I've talked to a lot of Duke guys, and I feel very privileged to speak to the level of talent that I've spoken with. And to say that I've interviewed Roy Williams and Jim Boeheim and Coach K, and they're all in the same conference. Mm-hmm. So it's just, and Mike Bray at Notre Dame is legitimately, he's one of my favorite people. He's so down to earth, and you can't, like, if you're around Mike Bray, you uncontrollably start to root for Mike Bray. So, and he had Bonzie Colson, who is one of my favorite players of all time at Notre Dame. So, I think your answer, Zion Williamson, the reality of it all is 15 teams in the ACC, and they all give me something that I love to do, which is talk to these really amazing people. I talk to Diamonds in the Rough, and then I talk to the number 1 recruits in the nation. So
awesome.
Yeah. All right, Enrico.
All right.
You're
so
second
Dan,
to last. Yeah.
Dan, this is for you. You gave me your Marywood men's basketball Mount Rushmore, right?
Yeah.
You had Lawrence, Duran, Tip, and Jeremy.
Yes.
Okay. So give me your NBA Mount Rushmore.
Oh, I've done this before. Okay. Not LeBron. Not LeBron.
Not even on it.
What?
Wow, he's
no
not in your top four.
LeBron.
Okay.
He sucks the life out of everybody else. Like, in order for him to get his powers, he has to suck them out of you. There's a Superman villain that did that.
Oh my gosh.
Give me that.
All right, go ahead.
Look at that love.
Who you got?
So my Mount Rushmore, Michael Jordan, to all of you children, to all of you, all of yins that are out there,
and yous
guys, Michael Jordan, and I don't care if you're 2 years old right now, Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball human being of all time. If he's not LeBron, why do you wear number 23? And why are you making Space Jam 2 when the greatest already made Space Jam? If you're the greatest player ever, then why are you following in the footsteps and trying to copy the greatest player ever? So Michael Jordan is number 1 on Mount Rushmore. It gets so dicey when I get down to it here, but I got to put Magic on there.
Right.
Because I remember as a kid standing in front of my TV, and I was thinking it's the first time I ever saw Magic Johnson. And he was coming at the screen. He was on a fast break, and he put the ball behind his. He put the ball behind his back, and I had no idea where it went. Like, and sometimes, like, he just like put it back here, and then he fake like this, and the guy behind him, he has the ball. I mean, he was insane. And I still remember the day that he walked in to the gym and they did the spotlight thing. And he sat on the wooden bleachers and he said, "I'm HIV positive." And I thought, I'm going to see him die. I'm going to see this man waste away. And he's still here.
Yeah.
And I was like, Magic Johnson killed it on the basketball court and he's beating HIV. And I'm like, so we need to clone his genes, I guess. Yeah. But I mean, I'm just happy that he's alive. I'm happy that he's here. And every year older I get, I pick a player. So last year was my Magic Johnson year. And now it's my Kareem Abdul-Jabbar year. But so I would say Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan. I got to give it up for my grandfather, Pop Covino, Larry Bird.
Yeah.
Love Larry Bird.
Some of the Larry stories are awesome, by the way. I mean,
and I got to, I did NBA Summer League, and when and obviously his connection to the Pacers, I got to be in this like small interview session with him, and I remember the whole time like my shoulder was up against him, and I'm like, I'm touching Larry Bird right now, I'm touching Larry Bird right now, I'm touching Larry Bird right now, and I wanted to like lean on him enough that he didn't know, but that I could say that I was up against Larry Bird. So Larry Bird, Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson. This is where it gets really hard for me. I mean, I'm a fan of true centers, so I guess I got to say Kareem.
Wow.
I'm a fan of true centers. Like the last true center was Shaquille O'Neal and like Tim Duncan-ish.
So no Kobe.
That's where it gets difficult because I didn't like Kobe in the beginning.
Right.
But then I liked him toward the end.
Same here.
And I thought he was
because we were Jordan fans.
Right. And I thought he was cocky, and then I saw LeBron.
Yeah.
And LeBron, when he hit, I think it was Game 3 against the Raptors last season, and he hit the game-winning shot, and he came down the court, and he dribbled the ball. And I watched the post-game press conference where LeBron James spent 15 minutes talking about LeBron James.
Yeah.
He didn't talk about this guy hit a three in the corner to get us tied. This guy set a pick for me. This guy passed the ball on bounce. This guy, he goes, oh, no, this is an easy shot for me. I knew that 1.6 seconds was plenty of time. I knew that I was going to have more time on the clock. I practice this every day. I just go. You know what? If you're an play tennis.
Right.
Play golf. Play a sport where you're by yourself. Yeah, I'm angry. So, but the reality of it all is, if you're a superstar that makes a crap ton of money, and you play with LeBron James, you're auditioning every year on American Idol. They only have 1-year contracts with LA. They let Julius Randle go because he wanted 2 years, God forbid. And you are never going to be a superstar again because it's LeBron's team. It runs through LeBron. It will affect your career. It will affect your money. And you may play in a championship game, and you may get to the finals, but you're playing with someone who you are on his team. You're not on a team.
Right.
You're on his team.
Right.
So he is a tremendous player. But even Michael Jordan said, when everybody said, Michael, you did this, this, and this, you scored 45 points, I remember him saying, guys, Steve Kerr hit a shot in the corner.
Right.
If he didn't hit that shot, I'm not talking about us winning this game. So even Michael Jordan talked about everybody else.
Yeah.
So
yeah, no, I and as a coach, obviously that's a major factor for us. You know,
yeah.
we always talk about team. It's not about one individual. And you know, it's a shame that society today and youth basketball, especially, like, you know, you watch AAU and you watch youth basketball at the youngest levels, and kids are all about showing off themselves, and it's about me, and that's just not how the game is supposed to be played. It's not how, as a coach, it's not what you're looking for when you're recruiting.
No, and I think LeBron is a part of that.
Yeah.
I think that I'll take my talents too is a part of that.
Right.
And I think that personal responsibility and care and concern and keeping your word and having the decency of calling a coaching staff and whatnot, like that goes out the window with people like LeBron, and it's unfortunate. So my Mount Rushmore is difficult, but I got 2 Lakers, a Celtic, and a Bull, and I think that that's good.
Good. Thank you.
So my second to last question is for the both of you.
Okay.
And that question is, if you could jump into the world of any cartoon, what cartoon world would you love to live in, and why?
Oh, this is hard. I was a big cartoon guy back in the day. I mean, we're talking late 80s here, you know, or mid 80s even. Ooh, dating myself.
How old are you?
Yeah.
You're not, but you're not old. I think you say it like you're old, but you're not.
Yeah.
You're not that old.
I mean, I absolutely loved Tom and Jerry growing up. I mean, that was definitely the most fun cartoon to watch. The danger of that is that, you know, there were a lot of injuries in that. So I don't know if I'd really want to be in that. It would be funny, but I don't think I'd want my tail set on fire or anything like that. So yeah, I'm going to go with the Super Friends, you know, the Justice League.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, because they know how to make cartoons, they just don't know how to make movies.
Yeah. Yeah. No, the cartoons were awesome.
Yeah.
So I would.
They said Armie Hammer might be playing Batman, and that's one of the greatest names ever created.
Armie Hammer.
Armie Hammer.
Yeah.
I feel like he's already meant to be Batman. So I want to be Batman once, just once.
I was Batman once for Halloween.
Oh, you were?
Yeah. Yeah.
I just love that one.
Superman was nearby, and you know, before my wife was my wife, he was you know, trying to get friendly, and I walked over to him and I said, "Do you know who I am?" And he just looked at me. He goes, and looked at my wife and looked at me, and they go, "I'm Batman." He walked away.
That's great. Well, like Christian, it's funny, Christian Bale.
He was a great Batman.
But he terrified me more than I remember wanting to see Heath Ledger as the Joker more on screen because he would, when Christian Bale would interrogate people, he would spit.
Yeah.
You know, he'd be out. He's like, where is he? And I'm like, oh. I was like, can we bring the Joker back on? I'd rather see a guy put makeup on his face. One of the greatest things in the world, though, is when Heath Ledger was playing the Joker, and they had the meeting of all like the bosses, and he goes, I'm going to do a magic trick.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to make this pencil disappear. And he takes the guy and he puts his head on the thing in the pen. Like Heath Ledger, that was his like lifetime achievement.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I've done impressions my whole life, and anytime I practice doing the Joker, it freaks me out and I have to stop because they said, and Jack Nicholson said it, he said, if you play the Joker, you have to understand, because Heath was a methodical and just the mental actor.
He gets into it.
And he gets into it, and allegedly they said that he was taking sleeping pills to deal with it because he had to understand the why, and the Joker doesn't have a why.
Right.
Like when he kills someone, he doesn't know them.
Yeah.
So there's no why, and they said that Heath couldn't figure it out. So obviously didn't play any of those, but like just to do the impression and do it in the mirror, I just remember looking in the mirror going, I get it, Jack. I get it's because you have to, like, I try to get in same way. I try to think like the person that I'm like, when I Like when I do like the Trump on the show or like Kim Jong-un or anything, like I think like the person. So when I'm talking as Trump, everything in my brain is 100% true. Yeah. Like anything goes. So when I'm like, first of all, this is what you need to know. Like I'm in it. I'm in it. And so when you do that with the Joker, it's horrifying because your brain is just darkness. Like he has no rhyme or reason. He knows that Batman can't kill him, and he knows Batman needs him. And it's like it's one of the greatest stories ever written because Batman can't kill him. But if he did kill him, then he wouldn't have to deal with him anymore. But the Joker said, if you kill me, you become me. So it's like it's very deep for a comic book. It's cool though. I'm looking at Gabby like she's like, I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
No, I get it. I'm trying to think cartoon-wise. I like my cartoons growing up, watching cartoons. I mean, Tom and Jerry, they had like the little ones that normally were on Cartoon Network, but a big for me was like Dexter's Laboratory or Doug Funny. And
Doug.
I would probably say though, if I could get dropped into somewhere, it'd be Hey Arnold.
Okay.
And I liked Hey Arnold just because I feel like I always felt bad for Arnold. Yeah. He was just trying to be the nice guy all the time, and he always got punched in the face or football head, and I don't know. I like Hey Arnold.
He was football head before Stewie was on Family Guy.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. All right, Gabby, what's your last one?
Last question. If you each could have, this is for both of you, obviously. If you could have or choose a different career path, what would your career be right now?
Well, I think we talked about this a little bit last time. I said, maybe like reporting, sports reporting. I think courtside, similar to what you did. I would like to do the play-by-play or color commentary or something, and then Sports Center, sports news, etc. But I also, my former career, I was a teacher, and being in the classroom, I think kind of gives you the same kind of drive and experience of commanding a group and kind of taking them from one point to the next and showing that growth and development over time. So I'd like to develop things, and whether it's people or products or whatever it is, that's what's interesting to me.
So. Mine's two, a cage dancer or a lion tamer would be my two. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Lion tamer would be fun. Lion tamer would be fun. Cage dancer wouldn't be fun. Yeah. So I wanted to see Enrico. You were dead silent. You thought I was serious.
At first I thought you said caged answer. I'm like,
no, cage dancer. Yeah.
Cage dancer.
Yeah. But it really like skews how many places I can work. So no. There are other things I want to do, and I've gotten to act a little bit, but acting, screenwriting, singing, and stand-up comedy. And I will do them all before I die.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So.
Cool.
This is my last question.
Yes.
It's your last one.
That's tough. A lot of pressure. All right. Disney character that you most identify with. I think excluding Darkwing Duck.
Okay, that's
Take
fine.
that out. He's not Disney anymore, we'll say.
Okay.
So for both of you.
You can go. I got to think.
Well, this is funny because I love to like be around people and conversate, but my favorite Disney character besides Darkwing Duck is Pluto, he's one of the only ones that doesn't talk, he just barks. So I would say Pluto because Lily, she like reminds me of who Pluto would be in real life. So I always call her my Pluto. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've always loved him, and my favorite colors are orange and green, and those have only been his collars. And, it's man's best friend. And I don't know, I love to draw the character. Yeah. I love to watch the old cartoons. So, I mean, I've just always been, you can ask my mom, like, I've loved Pluto forever. So, Pluto.
Good. Yeah.
And then Goofy would be number 2.
So even though I'm a woman, I would probably choose Woody from Toy Story.
Wow, that's cool.
I like him.
Yeah.
I think that he is just.
Toy Story 4 coming out soon, right?
I know.
Yeah. And there's like no, like we have no idea what it's about. Like there's a trailer of them jumping, and then the picture is Woody tipping his hat. Yeah. Like I have no idea what the movie's going to be about.
I think I just love Woody because he's always trying to do so many good things, but they end up horrible.
Yeah.
And I feel like that happens with me a lot. I have good intentions with some things, and then it's like, oh God, this is going south. But I also love he's just very kind-hearted and loving, and it still breaks my heart when Andy left Woody around, and Woody felt so hopeless. And but I'd choose Woody.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very cool.
Sorry.
Dan, last question.
Okay. We do a thing every Tuesday, brought to you by Utica Pizza Company, and it's a Utica thing. And I wear it proudly on my arm every day. So somebody asked me to try other pizza, and I showed them my wristband. So, and shout out to Gabby because she knows what chicken riggies are.
I do know what chicken riggies are. I think you'd like chicken riggies.
And you would like Utica Greens. You both, listen, I've come down here a lot. You're both coming up to, after the season, after you both win a lot of games, you're coming up to Syracuse.
All right, we're in.
I'll come friggin' get you if I have to.
We're in.
So just to try chicken riggies.
Yeah, well, just to hang out with me first. Enrico, food is always number one. It pisses me off. It makes me very upset. So we always do ingredients to success on Tuesday. Brought to you by Utica Pizza Company, and it's a Utica thing. So my question to you, both of you wonderful people, is if you were the president of the United States, what would be your ingredients to success? What would be 3 ingredients that you would put into effect right now? Money's not an option. You have the power. What do you do?
Are you talking policy or are you talking about personality?
I'm going different route. I'm not saying policy, money, nothing. Love, positivity, and love. I think that, and not getting into politics or anything, but I think our world is lacking love.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of hate out there. There's a lot of hate for race. There's a lot of hate for same-sex marriages. There's a lot of hate for teachers. There's a lot of hate for everybody.
There's a lot of hate for what people don't know.
Yes.
Right.
And there's a lot of hate for enforcement.
And I'm just a huge love is love type of person, and spread love. I mean, I think that that's the biggest thing that we're missing as a country. I really do. I really do. I think it's love.
So I'm a big, huge, I don't know many more bigger than me, Bruce Springsteen fans. And I have all the video anthology and all that.
Do you know who he is?
Yeah. We might have to tell Brendan.
Yeah, Brendan, do you know who Bruce Springsteen?
So I mean, I've been to several concerts. I've watched online, everything,
Yeah.
And in the video anthology, right before they play the last video, Born to Run, there's a sound bite of him talking to the audience. And he says, you can hear them all cheering in the background. He says, and remember, in the end, nobody wins unless everybody wins. And it's kind of been what I've taken on in my attitude, my approach to life is it's great personally for me to have success and all, but that's why I'm part of a team. It's about the team. It's about everybody growing and achieving something. So, I think in order for that to take place, the ingredients for me are, number one, empathy, diplomacy, and I think integrity. I think and there was an interesting, you talked about Twitter, integrity. There was a tweet that I just retweeted last night. Integrity is not a sometime thing. It's an all the time thing. Either you have integrity or you don't. There's no different degrees of it. You're either fully, honest and true, or you're, somebody who's not. And that's, I'm a big believer in being a man of high integrity and trying to do my best every day to help the world be better. But at the same time, that empathy of understanding other people's feelings and needs and maybe difficulties, struggles, and having a degree of diplomacy to be able to, communicate that in a way that's not offensive, that is co-joining rather than segregating. So.
And on President's Day, I said, let's not just treat it as a day off. Let's actually celebrate what the president said. And I read this quote, and it's coming off of what you just said, Enrico. It's by George Washington, who is one of my favorites, and Abraham Lincoln. George Washington said, quote, associate yourself with men of good quality if you esteem your own reputation. For 'tis better to be alone than in bad company. And Thomas Jefferson said, nothing can stop the man with the right mental attitude from achieving his goal. Nothing on earth can help the man with the wrong mental attitude. And then John Adams said, to be good and to do good is all we have to do. And Madison said, the circulation of confidence is better than the circulation of money. And there is a country song that says this, and I can't remember who actually sang it, but it's something that Dominique Rhodes said to me. He won a championship with the Colts and Peyton Manning, and I was going through a really hard time living in Florida, and I was outside noise. I let it in, and I've done that. I've done that in my life. And he looked at me, and I'll never forget, we were outside of the Citrus Bowl where Sarah, and ironically, God brought me back there at Camping World Bowl, and I'm standing in the same place where I interviewed John Gruden and spoke with Dominique Rhodes, and everybody's going there for the first time, and this is a place where a lot of real conversation that changed my life happened. And Dominique looked me in the eye, and he said, you got dreams. He goes, you're doing it the right way. You keep doing it. He said, chase after your dreams, and I promise you, the money will chase you. But if you chase the money, you'll chase it till you die.
Right.
And then the country song said, chase after the dreams, don't chase after the money. Because in my life, in unforeseen circumstances of what happened in my relationship world and taking over a house and taking over bills and running your own company, and it's on me to keep it going, and things can fluctuate and go up and down. But whenever I concentrate on the money, I seem to lose it, or it seems to be hard. But when I concentrate on driving my butt down here to spend time with both of you, I get emails to go to New York City to have an opportunity to do something cool maybe. So I am refocusing my life, but I have to tell you both that you have had an effect on me keeping the outside noise outside more than many people. And I know that we always have heart-to-hearts, and Gabby, we've had some recently too. I am what I say I am, and I really honestly, I believe in telling people how you feel about them the moment that you feel about them. So I value you both more than most, and I cannot thank you enough for what you've done in my life to restore a lot of my mental stuff, a lot of my confidence, and I don't know, the way that you've treated me has really, it's brought Dan back at a time where I was afraid I lost him. So thank you.
Happy to have you back.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So that was a very
Where's
hard
Carrie
night.
with the tissues now?
Carrie.
Yeah, Carrie.
So
yeah.
No, we love you. I mean, I know I've only known you since July when you called me the day I got the job. I mean, and
I was like bugging everybody. I was like, I need to know who gets it when they get it, because I had to call you that day. Like I was like, I want that to be like, I don't want to wait until day 3 or 4. So I made it a point to, like, as soon as it happened, to be like, what's her number, how to get in touch with her.
And it was awesome. And I'm somebody, and I'm a very big character person. Like I told you before, like I will never take a chance on a kid who, if I'm out at an AAU tournament and maybe they're my number 1 recruit and I see how they treat their parents and it's awful, they're off my list completely. Yeah. I won't take a chance on character, because character, it just tells so much about the person, and I think your character speaks for itself, and I think your pride for Marywood is unbelievable, and I don't think it can be matched by anybody else, and we're so happy to have you here.
Thank you.
You ask about, why do you have the benefit of being asked to come in the locker room, and the honor and the privilege of being able to speak, and there's no reason not to. I mean, I want, like, who was it, Thomas or George Washington said, I want to surround myself with men of good character, because then what if I don't, then what does it say about me? And so, that's why you're here. That's why we're doing this. And that's why it's important for us to have you in those moments. And like I said, all those alumni and all those people that were out there before that went through some trials and tribulations, went through some struggles. This is not just what we're doing right now is not just for this year. It's for all the years. It's for everyone, and it's for those that are yet to come. And you're a big part of that, and you always will be. So we appreciate it.
I just found, and I said to one of my friends before I came down, because I was like, I have to come back for Monday, and I said, I was like, when I go to Marywood, I come back here to find myself.
Yeah.
It's just Marywood. There's something for me. There's just something here. So it's always going to be connected to me. I'm always going to make this drive, and I'd rather make this 2-hour drive than some of my 15-minute drives. And it's just how it is. So I value it, and being a keynote speaker at your event at the tip-off dinner, and I think that Gabby wasn't there for that, so she should have me do one. But being there for that was one of the proudest moments of my life, if not the proudest moment. And being in the locker room for both of you, to be a part of this, to have that was tremendous, and to be there with the men, and to have so much love and respect and appreciation, and then to go in there with the women yesterday and just
have a party.
No, but I literally the first words out of my mouth were, "Ladies, my heart has not stopped."
Yeah.
Because it
means something.
It does, and it goes such a long way. So, yeah, there's a big part of my heart here, and you guys are a part of that. So thank you.
Thank you.
So for Enrico Mastroianni, for Gabby Holko, myself, Dan Tortora, we're wrapping up here. We said we were going 2 hours. We went 3.
Woo.
So
we can talk.
We get paid wait, do we get paid overtime for that?
Yeah, you get whatever I made for coming down here. Split in 3. So with that, which is subpar Runkin' Donuts. So that being said, we thank you so much for tuning in, and we look forward to speaking with you again. Thank you. God bless. Have yourselves a great day.
Go
and
Pacers.
Be well, Marywood. And go Pacers. Let's get it done. More life.